Good morning, and welcome to another inspiring episode of the Good Morning Minute, where we start the day with purpose, passion, and a little bit of power. I'm your host, Angelina Mojica, and today's conversation is part of a special series in partnership with Empower Her Steps virtual conference, a movement rooted in helping women rise, heal, and walk boldly into the life God has designed for them. Our mission is simple but powerful: empowering life purpose, because we believe that when a woman finds clarity in her calling, everything changes for her family, her community, and for the generations to come. So, friend, grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and get ready to be uplifted as we dive into real stories, honest lessons, and bold steps towards purpose with today's incredible guest, and that is Dallas. Hello, Dallas. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners.
Hi, Angela. It's great to be here. I live on the west coast of Canada. I am a 16-hour coach, and we'll get into what that means, I hope. Been through the ups and downs of life and been bruised and beaten and battered, and finally, I think, figured some things out. And
Wonderful.
that's what we're here sharing with others.
Yes, we are. And I can't wait to get into it. I know just speaking with you prior to the podcast, you were enlightening me with some wisdom, and I felt already inspired. So I can't wait to get into it. But first, let's start with a little fun icebreaker. If today had a theme song, what would it be for yourself?
Ooh, that's not easy. Oh boy. Imagine.
Okay. I like that. I like it. And we'll get into it because I understand why you said that. We very do. Okay, so Dallas, let's just dive into it. What was a defining moment of pain or challenge in your life, and how did it impact you?
Childhood is the defining moments of pain and trauma and fear and insecurity, I think, for everyone. I don't think any human being escapes the bruising and battering of childhood. And it's what we take from that makes us our differences. Some people carry really heavy bags that weigh them down and cause a tremendous amount of discomfort, disorder, psychological struggle, which we're seeing proliferate today. I think there's good reason for that. So I carried some pretty heavy baggage. Childhood that involved physical and psychological abuse and bullying. And I came out of my childhood knowing I wasn't good enough, knowing I was a failure, knowing I didn't measure up. I even failed an entire grade in primary school. All the teaching to me was, you're not good. There's something wrong with you. And that's a lot of baggage to carry. And we become the story we believe we are. Each of us is a story. You are a story. I meet you one day at a public gathering, and I say, nice to meet you, Angelina. Tell me something about yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't tell me about the human being, Angelina. You tell me about a story about the human being, Angelina. And there's a huge difference there. Because all these things that we go through in our life, especially from childhood, build a narrative about who we believe we are. Our self-image, our self-identification, everything is founded in this story that we attach to and say, oh, that's me. These are my memories. This is my past. I can tell you about it. It's mine. And we call it mine for a reason. We own it. And so we become this story. At a certain age, we self-identify and say, yep, I got it. That's who I am. And throughout life, you'll hear people say in certain situations, well, that's just the way I am. And what does that mean? It means exactly this. They are this identification. to this past, to this history. And in that sense, we are historical beings. Everything about us comes from the past. Mm-hmm. Everything we have learned is from yesterday, and the yesterday before that, and before that. So we are yesterday people living in this moment. But we're carrying this baggage of yesterday as memory. So everything that we are, we learn through experience, or we were told. Most of us didn't write our story. It was written for us by our parents and by bosses, by friends, by teachers. Mine was written by church leaders and Boy Scout leaders and camp counselors. And when that baggage gets too heavy to bear, we turn to addiction. And we all do. I believe we all have the same first addiction in life. At some point, we blame something, some event, some person, some place from the past for what we don't like about our story. And so I blame school teachers, I blame the church, I blame Boy Scout leaders, I blame camp counselors. I blame these people who I see hurt me and handed me this baggage I had to carry, had no choice. Mm-hmm. It was mine, made for me, and I took ownership. Not responsibility is the difference, but I took ownership. And so that pain I carry. So I say to people, the trauma that happened 50 years ago happened. I don't deny that it happened. How did that trauma get here today? How did it travel here? I put it in a bag. I labeled it with its meaning. I created a belief in the damage it did. I carried it for 50 years. It didn't get here on its own. So who's responsible for the trauma? Not the traumatizing, but the being that you carry, you are responsible for. I am responsible for. It's a part of a story I believed. Now, when blame...
I'm sorry. I'm like, that right there is huge. And that's why I want to take just a moment to really process that, because you do, when you're taking ownership and you're now looking at the responsibility of carrying that bag, that is coming out of your, like, in your manifesting in the behaviors and the outcomes that you're currently seeing in your life. And I want to take a moment just because that is a huge thing. And I just want to highlight that for our listeners as you continue. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Dallas.
No, that's good, because I'd like to step back into that for a second as well and say this. The reason people need therapy, people need coping skills, all these things are because they haven't taken ownership. They haven't taken responsibility. You cannot put a bag down that you don't own. So while I brought it with me, I'm responsible for it getting here. I didn't own it. I still blamed the reason for it. When I crossed that bridge and said, oh, I'm not to blame for it happening 50 years ago, but I am responsible for bringing it here. So I do own it. There is no one to blame. And in that ownership, I can put the bag down. Therapy doesn't allow you to put the bag down because it keeps you, as the person who's traumatized, trying to deal with how to manage my life with my trauma. And this is where I would say there is no healing. No one heals, they leave. When you finally put the bag down and walk away, it is no more because you left it. There is nothing to deal with, to heal from, because it was the damage. It wasn't you. It was never you. You made it a part of you by carrying it. And that's the responsibility act of realizing, oh, I can put my bag down because it's mine. I can take it to the curb like a bag of garbage and have it be gone. That is the break from healing to leaving. Healing keeps us managing, coping, working, struggling, finding ways to live with. Leaving is leaving. It's over. My pain became so big, I had to go to alcohol to try and numb the pain, to medicate. And I became an alcoholic. I had to add drugs to the alcohol. And a disastrous life. A 25-year marriage with another alcoholic and drug addict. Working beautifully together. Living in a home with vacations and nice cars and a business together. And from the outside world, normal people. Under that roof, a disaster. An absolute disaster. And then my story changes. I get lucky. Not many people get lucky like I got lucky. I woke up in the year 2000. We're 4 months into the pandemic. July 1st, Canada Day here in my country. And I woke up that morning with a golf ball sized lump in my neck, which I knew was cancer, like that. Best day of my life. Absolutely the best day of my entire life that morning. And in 1 year, from that day to the next Canada Day, July 1st in 2021, I went to surgery and treatment and came home to dissolving our marriage, losing my house, my business, my family in any way you can imagine that. And 1 year to the day, waking up in a basement suite apartment, broken, alcoholic, and suicidal. And that is the best year of my life. And I think it's because any one of those crises could destroy someone. Cancer alone, I hear people spend their whole life trying to get over it. Loss of marriage can traumatize people the rest of their life. Any one of them could have been. I'm so lucky they all happened together that there was no time to consume them. There was no time to be traumatized by it. It was a storm and you're in a little boat in the middle of the ocean just holding on. You're not afraid. It's just happening. You're in a storm. What a wonderful thing to have happened. Because at the end of it, I realized what brought me there. A man on a podcast said one line. He said, "Show me yesterday." That was it. Well, show me your trauma. Show it to me. Go to the cupboard and pull it out. I can't. Show me yesterday. I can't go get it. Where is it? It's not real. It is an imagined memory. There is no reality to yesterday. But I believed so fully in the story of my yesterdays that it took me to the edge of killing myself. How could a story kill you? That's the power of belief. This is the difficulty in religion, in politics, in everywhere in our lives is what we believe. Not rational, logical intelligence, because we don't even function on that. We use that for doing our job, for cooking a meal, for looking after our kids. We use our brain, rational intelligence. But our day-to-day functioning in habits and routines, your ability to drive home from work last Thursday night, Angelina, dead tired, and you walk into your house and you slap your keys down on the counter, and the sound of the keys make you go, "Hey, I don't even remember driving home. I can't remember anything about it. How is that possible?" This is the story mind. We can live in it. We can function in it, do our jobs, be in conversations with people, and all of a sudden go, "Oh, I haven't heard a thing they said. Where was I?" This automatic pilot, this robotic machinery of a story we believe. because we are not living in attention, in the moment. We are not truly present in our lives. We are living in story, memory, yesterday. And this is why people talk about it in conversation. What do we talk? What happened?
Yeah.
Where did you go? What did you do? Everything is past. Everything. Because we don't know how to be right here. Because when we are in attention, you and I right now on this podcast, it's impossible for the story mind to interrupt us. It can't function when we are in attention.
Mm-hmm.
We were given the secret in grade 1. Our first teacher walked to the front of the class and went, "Attention, class, attention." And then they took roll. Angelina, present.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, present. What were we just taught? To be in attention and be present.
Mm-hmm.
The secret to your entire life. And no one noticed. The teacher didn't notice. We didn't notice. In fact, we only got in trouble for what? Not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we? We were in story.
Mm-hmm.
Or we were in anxiety. In the future, when I go out on the playground, what am I going to do? What did I do yesterday? This is how we live. Constantly in the future and the past, story.
Mm-hmm.
And yet this attention and just being here removes it. There is no trouble in your life. Right here, right now. Doesn't exist. There is no anxiety. There's no past. There's no regret. There's no trauma. Nothing exists right now. It only exists when you go there.
Mm.
When you go into your story. And so I bring people to the simplicity. And I think this is why it's so difficult for people to grasp. It is so simple. So let's bring it back to Christianity and religion. First Testament and Second Testament. There are lines in each that give away the secret. The first one is the First Testament, God and Moses. And Moses said, "What am I going to tell the people? Who gave me this knowledge?" God doesn't say, "The great me did it. I am the Lord and ruler of the world. Do what I say, bow down." No.
Mm-hmm.
God said, "I am who I am." Just being. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Second Testament, what is it? Matthew 5:14, I think. The disciples are asking Jesus, "How do I be this enlightened being? How can we be our higher selves? How can we be great?" And of course, these are illiterate, uneducated, poor people
Mm-hmm.
who could not possibly understand if Jesus had said, "Well, you've got to set goals and you've got to be determined and disciplined and you've got to work hard every day and overcome your struggles. And I want you to buy a nice house. Oh, and get a real hot chick for your arm and look like a success. Be a winner." Jesus didn't say that. He said, "You are the light of the world. I am who I am." The secret's out. And even Christianity as a religion obfuscated that secret and have run away from it. And no, it's God, it's higher power, it's all these things. It is be your better self, blah, blah, blah. But Jesus didn't say it. He said, "You are. You have nothing to reach. You were born this beautiful, loving human being. You are born to be happy. That's it. You are the light of the world. You can't seek it. You can't find it. You can't become it because you already are." Self-love is huge today. It's ridiculous. You can't love yourself. You are made of love. There is nothing to love. You are love. You don't find happiness. You are happiness. But what have we done? We have decided to believe a story that has gotten in the way of the true you. And instead, you have a story self and a story mind with a voice running in your head all day, telling you what's wrong, what to be careful about, how you might screw up, how they might hurt you. All these stories. Look out into the world and you see a collective story mind. We have banded together to kill 100 million of our brothers and sisters over the last 100 years. How could we do that if we are beautiful, loving, wonderful, light creatures? Because we have believed stories of fear and insecurity, blaming the other, until we believe it so deeply we're willing to pick up a gun. All a story. We watch Netflix. We know what the show's going to be. We know how it turns out, but we're stuck in the drama because our minds are the drama. The story mind is feeding us this drama. Movies and theaters are all the same movie for 100 years. Look at how these movies are laid out. And there's a heroine or a hero. There's struggle. There's overcoming. There's happy endings, fairy tales. There's stories. Because the fabric of our lives have become stories. And we've become so story-centric now that young people are feeling the incredible pain of story. And so we have a health crisis in psychology. Young people like never before in therapy and on medications for a psychology that is about a story they believe. No one is hurt. No one is broken. No one is damaged. It's believing a story. I drank every day for 15 years at the same pub with a buddy, a drinking buddy, every day for 15 years. At the end of that, I went through my year of collapse. And he went down into the streets and fentanyl, and we see them today. Wow. Living on the streets in pure hell. If there's ever been a hell, that would be it, I would think. Anyway, a couple of years ago, I'm in a coffee shop, and I look over, and who do I see? Sitting in the corner, reading a book, enjoying coffee. It's him. As normal as normal. I'm just shocked. And I can't believe it's you. What? I just was stunned. I sit with him, and we begin to talk, and he tells me the story of on the street and a missionary preacher ministering on the street hooks him. He gets it. And yes, God and Jesus is here to save you. And he starts believing, and he starts going to meetings. And he turns his life around. He is the definition of saved. How could you be more saved than that? And as we talked, and I tell him about this story philosophy and are hooked into story, he says, I found a better story. Think about that for a second. Belief, faith, our truth is a story we believe. And it can be a good story. And it can lift us up and empower us. And it can be a story of torture and hell and childhood and trauma and baggage we carry. And we believe that story. And we are beaten up by it. And both are a belief. And when we can grab hold of that and take responsibility, then I can choose my religion as my belief. I can choose to write a new story. I can choose to have no story at all. But only if we are in attention. Only if we are awake to see where we are. Because we fall asleep in our stories all the time. And people will say to me, but your memories are real. And I say, you can't prove that your memories are real. No one can. There's no medical evidence that memories are real. In fact, we do know certain things like 70% of your life right now, Angelina, you can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
70% of it at least, maybe more. What did you have for breakfast on Tuesday, September 13th, 2001? Why wouldn't you know? It happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was an event that happened. Why isn't it a memory? Because we have to place the memory in a role of importance.
Mm-hmm.
We have to sit down in our movie theater and watch our story, our movie, play over and over until we get it. And every time we do it, we recreate the memory. Because there is no file to go pick up. There is no yesterday to go to. We have to reimagine the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so memories are constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 brothers and sisters. We get together. We talk about a big event that happened with the family. Each of us has a different memory of that event. Some of them radically different. How is this possible? The event was real. The event was singular. Why would we all have a different view? Because we recreate for ourselves that which fits our story. That is allowed by the gatekeeper of our story, our egos. Because we are in a belief state of the story. Your reality is not belief. It is right here. You and I are present. We are here in the moment, rational, logical, talking, sharing. This is life. Everywhere else is a type of dream state.
Yeah. So Dallas, I'm curious because I mean this is a huge evolution of the idea of human being, right? Because most of us are human doing and
Right.
we're not being.
That's right.
How did you awaken from your story?
Well, I told you I went through this year
Uh-huh.
where everything was burned to the ground.
Yeah.
You know, cancer, losing your wife, your house, your family, your business. You are left broken.
Mm-hmm.
It is burned to the ground. It is ashes. You can, you know, in your mind, look at your story. It's in ashes. You don't even know what it is anymore. And when you get to a point of suicide,
Mm-hmm.
because everything is gone, why do I want to be here? Everything I thought was me, I valued, I believed in, I trusted, was my, you know, my footing, my security is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that moment is the reason suffering often opens a door, shines a light,
Mm-hmm.
because you've gotten rid of, or you're standing in the broken pieces. And the mind, the story, doesn't know what to do. The ego is in trouble
Mm-hmm.
because it is losing its story and it's losing its control over you. And behind your story is the real you. Looking into the baby's face after birth, we all see beauty, love, and happiness. That's it. That's what we are. Everything after it is covered by a story. My mother died 4 months ago. 2 hours before her death, I looked down into her face. And what do I see? The same as the baby's face. I see beauty, I see love, and I feel happiness in my heart, not sadness, not loss. This is a beautiful life. This beginning and this ending, our true selves arrive. And in between, we have covered it in a belief of story. The clouds in front of a beautiful blue sky.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't see the blue sky anymore. And we're focusing on the clouds. So when there I am standing in these ashes, I got real lucky. A man on a podcast said one line, one little line. He said, "Show me yesterday." I mean, I couldn't. But everything I thought I was is history, is a story, is about my yesterdays piled up together to create this identity, this image, this knowing who I am based on a story I believed. And when he said, show me yesterday, the rational mind was alive and awake and said, you can't show me yesterday. No rational, logical mind can see that. It says there is no yesterday. That's just a memory you believe. It's not real. You can't go to a cupboard and pull it out. So there I was realizing a story I believed almost killed me. I had to rationalize that. And it's irrational. It's completely irrational to believe my story has beaten me so badly, I'm in so much pain, I could kill myself. It's a story. And as I said in the collective story, we create a story so powerful and strong that we go to war and kill each other because we believe a story. No rational truth to it. No one over there is trying to kill me. Only my government can convince me they're trying to kill me and make me afraid and make me join an army because I believe the story. We're 8 billion people seeking happiness, the thing that we are, the one thing that we possess our whole life is just a happy, beautiful, loving being covered by the imagination of this story. I say to them, it's so prominent today that we say, believe in yourself, be strong, believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I work with people all the time and I say, do not believe in yourself. Because the self you believe in is not your true self. It's a story you believe. So why would you be believing in the thing that has caused the pain that you're trying to believe your way out of? We get hooked into this. We're living in a house. The foundation was built by this story, very much from our childhood. And we spend our lives painting the walls a different color. Maybe we get new windows or new appliances. Let's put a new roof on the house. Somehow we're going to fix it, improve it, make it better. It's the same foundation. It doesn't go away because it's the story we believe.
So Dallas, I'm curious, so that podcast hits in a point where you're open to receive the message and truly interpret what's being asked.
Yeah.
And so from that point, what helped you continue to grow in unveiling this mask or story that we live in to really truly identify the essence of who we're supposed to be, and also how it created who you are today?
I call myself a 16-hour coach. This was the most fundamental step I've taken and what my life is today. And that was to say to myself, this is a train wreck. There's no way to fix this. There's no way to rebuild this. There's nothing here for me to recover. But it can still affect my life because, of course, I'm anxious. I'm in pain. I'm in terrible fear and insecurity. So for some reason, I realized you have to be conscious. You have to be awake and stop this dreaming. Lay down in my bed at night, and the minute your head hits the pillow, who can sleep? There's 1,000 thoughts rushing around in your head, and you're just spinning. Happens to all of us. That sent me a real strong message. Oh, I'm falling into this thought pattern. I'm not thinking, I'm having thoughts. That distinction went, hold it a minute. Think about AA. The one thing AA taught me was one day at a time. So I said, okay, what if I just live my life one day? What if I go, okay, I sleep 8 hours. I've got 16 hours that I'm awake for this day. So in this day, could I take 30 minutes and go for a walk, get some fresh air, clear my head? Yeah, I could probably do that in 16 hours. 30 minutes, yeah. Could I pay attention to what I eat? just for one day and eat better food and eat less junk. Yeah, I could probably do that in 16 hours. I think I could do that. I put everything in chunks of that. And you realize in 16 hours is your life. Everything you've ever done only happened in a 16-hour frame. Mm. You are only alive in this day. So I said, I only have one day to live. How easy is that? I don't have to fight for 10 years down the road with some great goal or dream or worry and insecurity. Mm-hmm. I only have to live 16 hours. And when I wake up tomorrow morning, I get a do-over. What a gift. Mm-hmm. What a gift. I get 16 hours to do my life. Wow. I could probably behave pretty good in 16 hours. I could act loving to other people in 16 hours. All I have to do it for is 16. Yeah, just 16 hours. That's all you have to do it for. I could do that. Mm-hmm. I could be a loving person. I could be kind. I could work really hard and focused at my job. I could love my kids, take care of them. I could show them happiness and a great example. Do I have to be strong? No. It's 16 hours. Who can't do anything in 16 hours? There's nothing in your life you can't do in 16 hours because we've only ever done it in 16 hours, one day. So I made my life 16 hours. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing to worry about tomorrow because tomorrow isn't ever going to come. It's always going to be today. Mm-hmm. So there's no future for me to look at. Why look at one? I have nowhere to get to. There's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to possess. You have everything. You're the winner. You're here alive in this 16 hours in this beautiful world with beautiful people all over the place. Mm. Focus on that beauty. Pay attention to the love. Mm-hmm. It is so simple. It's 16 hours. And tomorrow, do it again. Because it's today. Repeat your beautiful, loving, wonderful day. Well, that just became a mantra every morning. And to stay in attention. I put a sticky note on my TV. It said, get off your ass. That's the TV talking to me. I knows I'm sitting down doing that, wasting time. Mm-hmm. A sticky note on my fridge. What's going into your mouth? A sticky note on my door. Go for a walk. A sticky notes at work about pay attention. Do a better job. Be the best you can be. You've only got 16 hours. It is so simple when you break it down to tiny little pieces. And you eat this meal, this life. Mm. And it's not hard. It becomes so simple. Because if I'm not daydreaming, I'm not thinking about what's wrong. I'm not thinking about a problem, a pain, what someone said. Detach. Just attach to your life in this day. The simplicity is what makes it so difficult, I think.
Because I was going to say that because you really have simplified living intentionally. You really have in this, and it's, you keep the word simple keeps coming up, but I mean, and it's so simple that we complicate it. We complicate it because we don't want to believe.
And we live in a collective story culture that tells us what? Every day it tells us life is hard. Mm. Look around the world. Look at all the problems. Life is hard. It's a struggle. You have to be strong. It tells us every day that everything is complicated, difficult, and hard for us. And we believe that. And so no wonder our lives are complicated and difficult and hard. Because we believe the story. And it comes down to that simplicity. My friend who believed a better story about God and Jesus and his church believed a better story. What more evidence would we need that the story is both real and false at the same time? But it is our power. You are the light. It is our power that chooses it. But only if we're awake. That's why we didn't choose our childhood story. And we carry the baggage that we never chose to have. And we blame and we fight and we do therapy and try and fix and heal and struggle for no reason. Because it isn't you. It isn't even yours. It is simple to put the bags down. It's really hard to see that it's simple.
Yes.
Because of this complicated story of our lives. We have bought the complication. I tell this as an analogy. Angelina, tonight I'm going to speak to a crowd of 500 people. I walk out on stage. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dallascollis. I was badly traumatized as a child. I carried a lot of pain and suffering and anger through my life. I turned to alcohol and drugs. I had a terribly violent and troublesome marriage. My kids have been hurt by my behavior and my partner's behavior. It was a terrible time. I suffered so much pain, so much struggle. But I'm fighting. I'm working hard. And I'm getting back on my feet. And I'm getting my life together. And I'm sharing this to inspire others. And the crowd goes, fantastic. He's wonderful. Oh, so brave. Pat me on the back.
Yes.
Angelina, I'm going to speak to a crowd of 500 people tonight. I walk out on stage. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dallascollis. I suffered no trauma as a child. I've had no difficulties in my life. My life is beautiful and happy every day. Every day. I'm healthy and happy and loving. I've never had a problem in my life. And everybody in that crowd goes, ooh-wee, he's not playing with a full deck. This guy has a problem. That is the culture of the story. If I am broken and trying and fighting and struggling, I am held up. If I am healthy, whole, and loving and complete, I'm a weirdo. This is the world we live in. This shows us the fake story of pain and suffering is an imagined non-reality of a story. It's the movies we go see. It's the Netflix series we can't stop watching. This is the drama of trauma. The drama sticks. It's bigger than us. And the truth is the smallness of us. The truth is looking into that baby's face and seeing just love and beauty and happiness and realizing that's it. We don't have to be bigger than that. We don't have to be better than that. How could you be? You are the most important person on planet Earth. Is you, Angelina. The most important person. How could you say that, Dallas? That sounds sort of selfish. I wouldn't think that. If you weren't here, there would be no planet Earth. Not for you. It wouldn't exist. It's only because you're here that you have every experience, that you can see the love and the beauty. Because you're here. How could you not be the most important person? How could you not be the light of the world? And so are the 8 billion other people. Just so many of us lost in stories, in belief, in mysteries, in fear, in insecurity, in self-judgment, judging others, comparing ourselves. To what? You are uncomparable. You cannot be judged. You are the light. We all are. We have to get out of our story minds, live beyond belief, and be here. I don't have to believe to be here. I am. So are you. It is small. We are little, beautiful, lovely creatures. Go outside and stare at a flower and go, That's life. That's all we are. We're just a beautiful flower. Unfortunately, believe in a story so we can worry and fret and be regretful and be anxious and be upset because
Yeah,
we believe something that isn't just a flower.
it's true. We're so conditioned to believe in, the story, the drama of it all,
Yes.
that it is hard for, I mean, and I understand. I understand what this is, and it is so much more than the drama and the trauma and all of those things. And to get to a place of understanding and true awakening to really understand and embrace this freedom is
Yes.
it's a choice. It really
It's
is a
true
choice.
freedom. It's really freedom.
Yes, it is. Wow. Just hearing you, just hearing you, I feel it. I feel it in the core of my being. I really do. And I'm just, yeah, I wish I had more time to just continue this conversation. It's beautiful and it's so enlightening. And I hope that
We all know it. We all know it.
mhm.
Deep down inside, we all know it.
Yes.
Every person will say, I know I should be more loving. I know I should be more careful. I know I should. We
Mhm.
all know it.
Yeah. Whew. Well, I know I hate that we have to wrap up this conversation because I could listen to you go for hours, Dallas. I really can. But so as we start getting towards the closure of our interview and our conversation, let me ask you a legacy impact question. If today were your last day, what would you want to be remembered for?
Nothing. That's ego. Remembered for what? Why would you be remembered?
Okay.
Memory is a problem. There's nothing to be remembered for. There's been 100 billion of us born and died. How many do we remember? The few that made it into a book?
Mm.
The fewer that have been in movies for the last 100 years? Big deal. Most of the love and the beauty and the happiness this planet has ever seen is long gone and forgotten.
Mm.
So, what's it mean? I'm trying to be an example now with what I've figured out. And I'm trying to share that with people, and that's it. But it
Yeah.
doesn't go further. It's not a big deal. It's a little deal. We have to get out of our big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big deal. I'm a little human being on a little planet amongst billions and billions of planets. Not important.
Well, and I think I mean, yes, but you answered it in the sense of it's not about being remembered. It's about what I'm doing today. What I'm doing right now. That's what it's
Exactly.
about.
Yeah.
That's the legacy
It
there.
is this here and now.
Yes.
This
Yes.
16 hours, this conversation right now between you and I is the meaning of life right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yes.
Stay
Oh.
there.
Well, Dallas, if you could leave, again, you've given so much truth and wisdom, but if you could leave a word of encouragement with someone listening today, so much like yourself at that moment when you heard that podcast line that is still trying to figure it out, what would it be?
Hmm. The words, what if? What if my past isn't exactly what I think? What if that baggage isn't mine? What if I don't have to worry about those things? What if it's not that important? What if? Self discover your life through what if?
Mm.
What if there's no past? What if there's no tomorrow? What if this is the life, this beautiful, loving life? What if? I'm not the knower of knowledge, I'm just me. It's going to be different for other people. But what if?
Mm. That's no, and that's beautiful. It really is because what if things all went the way you wanted them to? We always gravitate towards the anxiety and the fear and the doubt and stuff. But Exactly. That is the question to ask for sure. Dallas, if anybody wanted to get in touch with you and learn more about your 16-hour coaching or any books that you've published, how could they do so?
Dallascollis@gmail.com.
All right.
Leave it as
Wonderful.
simple as that.
Yes, you are a simple person. And you have simplified a life in this conversation. I know there's so much more to learn from you, but I do want to thank you, Dallas, for sharing your heart, your story, and your light with us today. It's conversation. Yeah, absolutely. It's conversations like this that remind us purpose isn't about perfection. It's about showing up and growing through what we go through and trusting that every step matters. So here on the Good Morning Minute and through the Empower Her Steps movement, we believe every person has a calling worth discovering and a voice worth using. So wherever you are today, friend, remember, your purpose is powerful and you're not walking alone. So until next time, keep rising, keep trusting, and keep walking boldly into the life God designed for you. I'm Angelina Mojica, your life coach, sending you love, peace, and many blessings.